Let's do it again.
Let's do it again. So let's start on this beautiful circle tonight on the Wisdom Keepers. For the people who just joined for the first time, we have had the Wisdom Keepers gatherings, which we created to invite people from all over the world, the Wisdom Keepers, to share with us the wisdom insights about consciousness, conscious evolution for us as humans and this whole planet and the universe. So we're happy you joined us, you tuned in. And now we created a circle. We like to create a circle, as Maya already mentioned when the recording was off. Is that so important to come together as human species, as a human family, in a really trusted and family-based setting to practice, to learn, to share, to thrive together. And this is why we created this circle. So monthly we have these wisdom keepers gatherings, and in between we will do the circles as well, more based on practice, inner work, deeper inner work. So you're more invited to join us for our next wisdom keepers gathering, which I'm going to share at the end of the wisdom keeper circle, when we have the new gathering with a new wisdom keeper. So we've had already Jude Curven. She's a scientist about consciousness. She's an author, and we have had Adam Hall speaking about the divine genius. And our last gathering was with Dwayne Elgin and Chris Beisch. Was an epic episode, and we gained so many insights. And I'm going to share these insights as more like viewing back from this beautiful gathering with Chris and Dwayne. And what we felt was our deep global system crisis we are in now is it's a big bardo. And for the ones who don't know the bardo toll, or the book of the death, of the Tibetan book of the death, it's a death rebirth transition. It's not like an energetic transition from death to rebirth. And this big bardo by itself forms a beautiful gateway for us to transform and to grow as a human family into more from an adolescent state to a mature and wise state. And that's why we invited these modern wisdom keepers. We invited tonight, and I'm going to introduce them on a later stage. Aranka van der Pol, very much welcome to this wisdom keeper circle. And also Peggy Vullings, very much welcome. And I'm going to introduce you, your work, your website, your backgrounds. But we invited you to zoom into the wisdom. As we're going to see, Aranka is going to tell us more about the wisdom compass. It's very exciting and a beautiful cliffhanger. As always in a beautiful circle, and when we're online, it's always different than we come together face by face. You enter a room, you give each other a hug, you feel each other, and you're gonna sit next to each other. It really gives a bonding and a family feeling. But now online, we have to create a set and setting to attune, to feel each other. So I invite you, for all the people who joined in and tuned in, to look at our faces. I'm gonna skip also to my gallery view. And as you can see, we're not so much people, but it's about the quality, and it's not about the quantity at all. So let's look at the beautiful faces and create this circle from your heart as an energetic field we're gonna create together. I'm great and happy that Hardy is also tuning in. So Hardy, special welcome for you as well. We see a sunflower, which is
Mhm.
a very shiny way of opening the circle. And what we're gonna do is give a moment to just to attune to the circle with something we want to share from the Wisdom Keepers. So if you want, put your hands on your heart, or whatever you want. Open your senses. I feel welcome to this Wisdom Keeper circle. was harsh to stop this beautiful song on this Yanawara nation of Brazil. This is their traditional song, and you hear the kurawaka. I would invite you to listen to this music. It's amazing how it enters the wisdom and a beautiful field to create and to work together. Tinanda, this is where I want to open with. So I saw someone extra coming in the group, and now she's leaving. Hopefully, we didn't send him or her away with the music or with the song. It doesn't matter. Mayo, I want to give you a short also uh, a moment to yeah, as a co-host to get in and to share some things from your heart, please.
Yes, thank you again for being here, for presenting yourselves in this space and in this time, for choosing to invest your energy with all of us. And I find it really special that as children, as inner children, we come to play together in this virtual reality, in this room that connects us. And whatever comes out of that, just like children do, there's no agendas, there's no end goals, there's no really telling what that magic may really develop into. But we know that just by being here and by enjoying the presence of each other, and of course, the wisdom that will transpire between us, that alone provides the joyfulness of this interaction. Imagine what then we can do with consciousness and expansion of that, and how we can then collectively catalyze our human consciousness. This is exactly the goal of the Wisdom Keepers series and the circles, is this catalyze um, process. So I'm really excited to speak with you guys today and to share a perspective of the human compass and to see how then that may align all of us equally in this circle and in the virtual capacity of this room, how that will guide each of us collectively into the next future steps of our conscious human decisions, of our conscious human world in which we live, we love, and we thrive in. So I'm really excited. Thank you so much for being here. Let's have fun. Let's be wild. Let's see what comes out of this experience. Ready?
Thank you, Maya.
Nice.
So we're gonna go we gonna yeah, go to you, Aranka van der Pol. I think because we showed this song and also the beautiful visuals in it, it's actually what your work describes. It's about wisdom, and we all are this wisdom. We are all this consciousness, and but we forget we. This is also the bardo of the death, rebirth, or the reincarnation, where we need to forget to grow and grow, as we already discussed with Chris Beisch and Dwayne Elgin from our former gathering. And Aranka, I just know you just from saying goodbye, and every time I received your beautiful work via the emails, and every time I wanted to deep dive with you in your work, and then it just didn't happen. But then for this circle, I thought we're gonna invite Aranka. You're the founder of thejunglebirds.org. It's a platform where you're focusing on transformational coaching and vision quest and also retreats. We invite you all to visit our website. And you recently developed the Wisdom Compass, so it's very fresh and new. And I think this is what we need in these times of finding direction, of finding guidance. So we're really looking forward to zoom into that. And you're an author and co-author of 7 books. I saw especially in Dutch. So for our international public, it will be difficult, but hopefully in the future there will be an English translation as well. You're a certified coach. You're an NLP master. You're a neuroscientist, semantics, and you're also an RET. I don't know what it stands for, but maybe we're gonna hear like RETEC coach. You drove an electric car, a tuk-tuk, from Amsterdam to Portugal in 3 months to gain attention for sustainable traveling. and you're also a founder of Sustainable and the founder of Lots of Lesbos, or you spell it Lesbos, to support locals and refugees on the island of Greece, Lesbos. And the last year you experienced an enormous, I would say, effects of the climate change. It was, you mentioned, in 2020 when wildfire hit your family, your land, your living, your yurt, and it had a big experience and a big traumatic experience on you as a family. So we're all faced with these kinds of influences of these global system crises, but you were in it with your whole family. For us,
It's
you're
actually,
more, yeah.
sorry to interrupt, but Sonia who just zoomed out, but I don't know if this is our Sonia, but it was her land and her place where it happened. But maybe she comes back later.
Yeah. For us, you were a modern wisdom keeper, and we're honored that you said yes to our invitation. And before we're gonna zoom into your compass, I want to also introduce Peggy Vullings, which is typical Dutch, I think, Peggy, if I'm right. And we don't know each other, and I just trusted Aranka for your, I would say, your path you walked after you've worked in ICT for 15 years. And I read on your beautiful website, pegnes.com, which for the people who can't spell it directly, you can find it in the chat box now if Melanie wants to put it there, and also the website of you, Aranka, thejunglebirds.org. You met the words patience, trust, and belief. And those were the first words you encountered during your first plant medicine experience 7 years ago. You did breath work, you studied and experienced the Bhagavad Gita, which is an important book, I feel. You did Vipassana, psychology, and plant medicine, and Tantra. And now you teach yoga and meditation as a teacher, and you give a lot of workshops. So I already introduced you because when we are in this circle, when we gained together with Aranka the insights of the wisdom compass, we want to do after it an embodiment to go inside and to find our own, I would say, wisdom animals and where our wisdom is from our hearts. So Peggy, Aranka, welcome to this circle. And let's start, Aranka, with the wisdom compass. Can you tell us where did it start and what's your purpose with it? What's the purpose you want to create with this?
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me, and also Mayo and Melanie. Very nice to be here, and it's great, although it's in an intimate setting, that that I can be here tonight, and that we can be together exploring this. I'm very curious what you will think about it, and I'm very curious to co-create tonight. So yeah, what the answer to your question is, how you said how I started it or how I came with it, was that
Yeah, where did it rise in your system? Where did you feel the urgency to create the wisdom compass?
Yeah, it was actually because I'm already for a long time very interested in wisdom in all different levels. So I'm reading a lot, especially about how to about my own self-development and about how people work, how we're connected to nature and to each other. So that's always been one of my passions to learn about that. And in the past few years, when I also started coaching people, I started to go deeper into that knowledge and wisdom, starting to learn from like neuroscientists, but also other coaches, and also reading a lot, but also from shamans and a lot of wisdom keepers, international wisdom keepers from all different backgrounds. So and for me, it was when I'm coaching people, what I see a lot and what I also saw with myself is that you can, in everything that's offered and in all that we have in the world, which is beautiful. But also on a level of self-development and growth, there's so much that you can get and feel a bit overwhelmed. So for me, I call that the jungle of life. So I wanted to help and guide people a little bit in that jungle, like when I'm and to help them see where they are at now and how they can walk through that jungle, because it's for everyone, it's their own journey, of course, and it's never an ending journey. But I think there are some tools and there's some navigation to help people find their own path, actually. So that's in the compass. I'd like to try to combine that wisdom together and help people guide to their to connect to their own inner wisdom, but also to learn from wisdom from other people and from other
So it's of course the people who didn't see the wisdom compass or never heard of it. Can you describe what the wisdom compass is about? And maybe I can share the visual if you like to have a
Yes.
deeper understanding. Do you like that I share the compass or?
Oh, wait, maybe once we can maybe share it just to have
just give a call and I will put it on the screen. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So for now, I will start with saying that it's like a tool that I also developed to translate the wisdom of a lot of different wisdom keepers into more accessible tools that we can all work with. Hopefully, we'll see. And so it's a tool that brings all these different fields together. What I already said, a bit of psychology, neuroscience, and ancient wisdom. And it's actually developed for leaders worldwide. That's why there's also a few leaders that you can see in the compass that we can explore a little bit later in which way we connect to them. But these leaders for me, and it's very important to say that also, is that I see a leader as someone who inspires others and motivates people to join them on their mission, or maybe on their bigger vision, and to inspire other people on that path. So seeing us here together in this mutual vision of wisdom, I think we can all say that we're leaders in a way. So yeah. I can shall I, if I go deeper into the compass, we're gonna go into it, and I won't stop talking, boss. So tell me when you're ready for that.
Please go ahead. But I feel a lot of people say I'm not a leader. I'm not made for this. I don't have the skills. I don't have the wisdoms or things we call now. So some people are afraid of standing in their power, in their strength, to stand up like a leader or I always say like a steward of this beautiful earth. So can we open here the conversation? So what do you recommend or do you advise from your perspective for these people who feel like small and not in their leadership role yet?
Yeah, I think we also come a bit to that in the compass, where you can maybe, there are some tools also to develop a little bit more about that. But it's also a lot about a lot of people say, I'm not ready yet. I still need to do this, or I still need to do that, or I need to learn this. And we keep on learning and we keep on learning. But I think that everyone is in their own way and in their own community is inspiring others. And in that way is going first in a certain role. And that can be at home as a mother or as a dad, or in a whole different roles you can be a leader. And even if you don't think you're a leader in that way yet, then you're always leading yourself. So it's also about your own personal leadership. And maybe you don't feel you don't trust yourself enough in that field yet, but that the compass can also help you navigate towards that.
Beautiful. So please go ahead if you want, Aranka, and I'll also ask Mayo if you want have questions, or the other fellow wisdom
Yeah, I'm
keepers.
curious. Are we going
Yeah.
to see a visual then, so we can we can put on our diving suit and go into it. Let's dive in.
Yeah. Boss, if
I
you can share it, would be
yes,
helpful.
yes.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yes, that one first. So as you can see here, yeah. Thank you. Okay, let's go into it. I will do a small introduction also about this tool, because I believe that the roots of wisdom actually lie in ourselves. And please, if you want to ask some questions, feel free to do that in between. And afterwards, there's also time enough to ask some questions. So for me, it's I believe that the roots of wisdom lie in ourselves. And I always like to quote Brene Brown on this, which is a great author and also a scientist. She did a lot of research about emotions. Her book, The Atlas of the Heart, is amazing. I can recommend it to everyone. But she says, don't build a connection or community with others before you feel fully connected with yourself. So I think that's very true. And becoming wiser starts with looking within ourselves. And in the compass, we do that through these three fields that you can see here. It's like self, world, and experiences. So they're like the three circles that are designed together. And to start into the experiences, where you can see it's going from trauma to healed. Experiences is actually about embracing our experiences by physical and mental practices to actually to heal. So I mean healing in the way, not forgetting about your negative experience or transforming only your negative experiences. If I can even say positive and negative, because I don't know if it's that black and white, but it's more about accepting your experiences and accepting your emotions, and that they're not in the way of living the life that you're meant to live. So in that field, there, if you feel like you have something to do there, it's about going from unprocessed experiences and emotions to healing and processed emotions. And there are actually different tools, of course, to do this, and they're very specific to your preference, but also they overlap in the different circles. But I will name, for instance, a few in this field. It can be EMDR, it can be emotional regulation work, or the work of, maybe you know them, Gabor Mate and Peter Levine. It can be meditation, yoga, plant medicine, indigenous rituals. And I myself work a lot with Raytech. Bas already mentioned this. It's a method based on new research from Liza Feldman Barrett about how emotions really work. I won't go into this book because I'm very big fan of it, and I will keep on talking. So I can recommend you that book as well. But what I love to explain is a little bit about her research about how emotions really work, because it's completely different from what we've thought for decades. And there's just a little bit that she gives an insight on, which I think is interesting also for the perception of looking at this compass. Because what she says is actually what we do all the time is making predictions. And our predictions are based on the concepts in our brain. So the concept that we formed in our past, in experiences. And they're all in our brain like little, closets that go open, like, oh, that resonates with that. Oh, this is that concept. And then in milliseconds, a new prediction comes forward, and actually that prediction is our reality, and therefore after that prediction comes our emotion. And what happens is that she says that 10% of what we actually see in the world is based on on information of our retina. So 10% of the information comes from our eye. So the rest, what we see, is all formed by prediction. Is all formed by prediction based on what we've experienced before. So just to give you a certain insight of how we all live in our own reality. And it's all based on the concepts in our brain. And that, yeah, it explains, I think, also in how we have to look at these compass is it's all our perception of our experiences. It's our perception of ourselves and our perception of our world. So the other circle of self, for instance, it's about an unhealthy, going from an unhealthy to a healthy self-image. And you can see in the outer circles there, what if you're maybe somewhere stuck in that area, or you think you have some work to do, that's the solution actually, where you can work on is self-development in this case. And so this has more to do with understanding who you are and how you work, but also which skills you have and which skills you can still develop. It's obviously a lot broader than this, but I gave you a few of the I give you very short explanations so that you have an idea where this field what this field is about, I should say. So this is also about your limiting beliefs and your supporting beliefs and the emotions that you have and how strong yourself is. And it's important to realize that this is not about a strong self in the sense of self-centeredness, which is often the opposite. It's often a result of a feeling of a weak self. So this is more about developing a healthy and strong, courageous self, which is necessary to develop healthy relationship and deeper connections with others, with not only with others around us, but also with our environment. And this is also about speaking your own truth and being able to receive feedback in a constructive way. So there's also different tools to do this in the whole self-development field, like NLP, for instance, or different like mindfulness practices. What can I say? Like journaling, coaching, martial arts that I'm doing myself. That also is really a helpful tool in developing a more healthy self-image. And then we pause, then we go through the third field, which is about the world and your connection to the world. And it's about finding meaning in your life, but by aligning to a higher purpose or connecting to the source. So this is a lot about purpose and spirituality. In a way that it's not per se about religion, but more about the connection to a bigger system, and to have a feeling of belonging, and of your role in the university, your role in the universe, I would say. And some tools for this are, for instance, the Vision Quest, nature, plant medicine, meditation, praying or fasting, of transformational breathing. And the more we are actually healed and master these three fields together, so we feel healed, have a healthy self-image, and feel aligned with spirit and purpose, the more we move into the inner circle of the wise leader, of flow and wisdom and consciousness. So so that is actually the the purpose of this compass is to see how we can do the work in the 3 fields to come closer and maybe even go in to the inner circle. And then you can also see the 4 leaders in there, the successful, heroic, and the idealistic leader, and the wise leader in the middle. So the successful leader is actually already very good is doing a lot of work already, or maybe it's already feeling very content with in the field of experiences. They're well on their way with self-development, and they have made peace with their past. So they have a good life, and from the outside, everything actually looks amazing. They look successful. Obviously, that's also a word that you can say, okay, successful in which way? But maybe we can talk about that later. But inside the successful leader, there's something missing. They feel unfulfilled. And there are moments that they ask themselves, like, is this it? What am I missing here? So then they can be very goal-driven and goal-oriented towards themselves and others. And sometimes they forget to align with their actions with their heart and soul, or even with a higher purpose. So I have a nice quote, if I can find it, that comes with this leader, and it's from Buddha, and it says, your purpose in life is to find your purpose and give your whole heart and soul to it. And the opportunity that comes with a successful leader is the opposite. So this successful leader is already doing quite well in those 2 fields, and the opportunity is actually more purpose alignment. And the animal, which I'm going to tell a little bit more about later on, that the successful leader can connect for more purpose alignment, is the hummingbird. We already saw him or her in the video. So the heroic leader is the leader that is actually having already a clear purpose and the mindset and skills to act on it. But they can feel unhappy, agitated, frustrated. They spend a lot of time and energy already in their mission, but they can forget themselves in there, which is unhealthy, of course, in the long run. And it could be that what we see is that often there's some work to do in the opposite direction, so in the experiences and in healing. So that's the opportunity for the heroic leader. And the quote that comes with that is, until you heal the wounds of your past, you are going to bleed. And the animal is the serpent. You can see it here also in the compass. I will talk a little bit more about that. So the idealistic leader is actually, they've already embraced their experiences and their past, and they have a very clear world vision. So they're very aligned with purpose, but they can be frustrated by not succeeding in life, by not bringing it into the world, by not bringing their vision or transforming their vision into reality. And the quote from Lao Tzu is, knowing others is intelligence, knowing yourself is true wisdom, mastering others is strength, mastering yourself is true power. So the opportunity there lies in self-development, in getting to know yourself better, and maybe even going beyond your fears and your limiting beliefs. And then, of course, there's the wise leader in the middle. The wise leader embraced their past, are fully aligned with purpose, and they have the mindset and skills to transform this into reality. They feel happy and fulfilled and in flow. So the world needs wise leaders more than ever. And when you're here in the middle, you are one of them. So it's time to rise and share the wisdom with the world. And remember that there's you're never wise enough, and you're also never too wise. Or probably what you all know, the quote from Socrates, the only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. And the eagle is the symbol that comes with this wise leader who has the bigger vision and embraces everything around. So when we've done this work in the circles, we go deeper into the wise leader, and you can see the 7 components that a wise leader actually scores. Wow, that's really aligned. The wise leader scores on, and these are the 7 ones. They are sometimes a little bit difficult maybe to understand when you see them for the first time, but I kept them exactly in these words because this is scientifically proven, or actually it comes from research from Dr. Dilip Jest, and it's very I talked to him a few weeks ago, and it's a very interesting, fascinating man who did research about wisdom for decades actually, and these are the 7 components, and he says it's they're like sorts skill traits that wise people score high on. So all wise people have these 7 skills, and I will read them out loud. So it's pro-social behaviors. It has to do with empathy, compassion, and altruism, which when you dive a little bit deeper is very interesting, because also empathy and compassion, it is not just one simple skill. It has to do with several skills. For instance, empathy is like understanding and recognizing what the other is feeling, but also giving it back that understanding. So we can only respond empathically if we are really there, and if we can really feel and hear the pain of the other person. Because if we're not willing to feel that pain, it's not real empathy. So in that way, listening, for instance, being present and being attentive are also skills that are very important to develop. And with compassion and altruism, it's the same. So in each of these 7 components, there are different skill sets to develop. So the second one is emotional regulation. It's actually weird that it's the second one, because in the graphic it's the first one, and emotional regulation, I believe, is actually influencing all of the other ones. Because what I learned now about how emotions work, even though you sometimes think you're being very rational, or you thought a lot about it, or people say, I don't feel so much, then still you're feeling, because we're like emotional beings, and the feelings are we are continuously predicting based on our concepts, and that fires off our emotions. So I believe that our emotions and our emotional regulation is super important, and it influences all the other components. So the third one is self-reflection and understanding. Insight, intuition, and self-awareness has a lot to do with how good do you know yourself, but also what we've talked about in the field of self. That's where it links to. Then there's the acceptance of uncertainty and diverse perspectives. Being open to others, but also having some kind of self-trust that it will be okay, even though the circumstances we can't rely on them. And in that way, the second one, or the fifth one, has a lot to do with it, because it's accepting the uncertainty, but also being able to make decisions. So you have to, in this way, balance thinking. I believe there's also a lot of emotions involved, but still it's also transforming these feelings and thoughts into action. And action can also be doing nothing, but then still making a choice to do something, nothing or something. Then the next one is social advising. It's sharing life knowledge and skills, which a lot of wisdom keepers do and shamans do. It's really a role of the elders that we had, that a lot of tribes still have, that you go with your challenges, your issues to the elder people who are the wisdom keepers. And we lost that a bit in our society. So this is about sharing your life knowledge and your skills. This is what all wise people do. And then the last one is spirituality. It's the connection with something bigger than yourself, which is also has to do with the field of worlds. So these, you could actually start with learning, because these 7 are all teachable and they're even measurable. And Dilip Shest also says that we can obviously, being wise is also, you can also gain wisdom through your experiences and by getting older. But not every older or aged person is wise. So young people can be wise as well, as long as they go to experiences, learn from it, and even with this like 7 components, you can very specifically learn how to become a wiser person or leader. And I believe that these 7 components, what you need as a base, as a foundation to develop them, is what I just showed you and talked a bit about in the compass. So now it's starting to get more interesting, even is really interesting, because the wisdom compass also has a different has another level, and that's the actually the wider perspective held by the indigenous people on how we are all interconnected in this one big ecosystem. And it reminds us also we need others, communities, rituals, and nature to heal, grow, and become wiser. And I truly believe that if we restore our own connection with nature, that we restore our connection with ourselves, and the other way around. Maybe you also sometimes experience this in nature, that when you're in nature, you also feel really grounded and with yourself. And when you're feeling really with yourself and authentic and original, you also feel very connected to your environment. So I believe that that's all interconnected with each other, which is logic because we're part of nature. So maybe you might already have a sense of what kind of leader you could be at this moment in your life. So let's see what these animals have to add. And these 4 animals, they were already in the introduction video. So yeah, they're coming from indigenous wisdom. A lot of wisdom keepers in the Amazon use them. And also Alberto Villoldo, he's an author and a shaman who wrote a lot about it. He also writes about them. So I'm going to share some things about these spirit animals. This is how he calls them, and how a lot of shamans call them, like wisdom keepers. So the serpent in the experiences, they teach us how to shed our past, like the serpent herself sheds her skin. So the serpent symbolizes knowledge and sexuality, transformation, and the healing power of nature. So the serpent helps us to regulate our emotions, and it represents the essential life force that seeks union and creation. And on the deepest level, actually, the snake's skin, the shedding, it symbolizes the death and rebirth. And in this way, it also is the snake is the symbol for transformation. So if you're ready to shed your own skin and to leave your experiences and past behind, or to say it in other words, to heal, then the snake is there for you and is waiting to guide you through your transformation. So there are questions that you could ask yourself is, what emotions have you instead of the other way around? And do you have the permission to have and feel that emotion? Can you truly accept the emotion as it is? And what needs to be transformed or healed? And then the jaguar in the self, he invites you to walk through the shadowy sides of your inner jungle. So it's about knowing yourself. It's about understanding yourself and having the courage to speak your truth and to risk to be rejected by others by following our own heart and beliefs. So it's about having a strong back and a soft front. That's what I myself, it's also from Brene Brown, and I love that. I love that statement, like having a strong back and a soft front, because what happens often when we don't have a strong back and we're not completely true to ourselves or to others, then our front is getting hard instead of soft. So we close. So this is what I think is a very beautiful metaphor, a strong back and a soft front. So when we lack the jaguar courage, we focus only on ourselves. And the jaguar tells us we're actually all in this together. We're all connected to this huge ecosystem where she is actually the queen of. Yeah, you don't need to look for how special you are, because everyone is the same. And as soon as you realize that, then you're really original and authentic. So the question that comes with the jaguar and the medicine of the jaguar is, what fears do you have, and which of them are realistic, and which of them are stuck in the story that you tell yourself, and what other stories could you tell yourself? Then the hummingbird in the world is invites you to go on your soul journey and reconnect with your passion for life and your purpose. So this is a nice story because you probably know it from the hummingbird, but I want to tell it anyhow. But every year, a certain species of the hummingbird, it takes an enormous voyage, a journey all the way from Brazil to Canada across the Caribbean Sea. And when you look at the hummingbird at first, you think, how? Because this little creature wouldn't seem very suited for such a long flight. But they respond to an annual call and they undertake this incredible journey. So when we're touched by the energies of the hummingbirds, we are propelled on our own epic journey that leads us back to our source. So what passion in life brings you joy? What have you neglected that nourishes your soul? And how could you bring this into your life? And then the last animal, the eagle, he symbolizes the clarity and vision and the overseeing everything. So the eagle energy can help us in finding the guiding vision of our lives by looking into our past and the future and helping us understand both where we came from and who we're becoming. So actually in the middle, it's also when you see it through a different lens, the experiences could be going a little bit more about the past. The self is going a bit more, is talking a bit more about the present. And the world is your vision in the world, often about the future, where you want to be, with whom you want to connect. And then the wise leader, the middle, is actually the I, is the consciousness where everything comes together. It's more about the flow where time isn't real, or time is everything together. So the eagle represents also the self-transcending principle of nature and the cycle of life. The eagle shows us that we can't satisfy our emotional needs with material things, and that there's a spiritual solution to every problem. So in this way, I forget the questions. It's, what vision do you want to bring and create into the world? And how are you going to do that? So it's important to realize that the compass navigates in your own map of reality. So if you want to communicate or connect with others, it's good to understand their map of their reality. Otherwise, you can obviously get lost, and it's really difficult to find each other and to meet each other somewhere. So I hope that the wisdom compass helps people, and you maybe, to find your inner wisdom, and also encourage you to discover these maps of reality of yourself and of others, and also to discover the maps of other people without any prejudice or judgments, so that we can meet each other where we are and go from there. So that's a bit about how, if I work now with the compass, it's I talk to people when I go into a coaching or a session with someone. We first take a look at the compass, and then people, it always resonates with someone, and they say, okay, yeah, here and there I can feel I'm this kind of leader, or I have work to do in this field, and it gives you an insight of where to start with someone, or which tools to use. But this is also especially for people to use, to have a tool to see where they can develop themselves and where they can start. And at the moment, we're developing also a test that comes with it. So there are like 30 questions, and then you fit in one of the leaders. And then you also score on all of the 7 components. So you know exactly where your growth where your growth lies. So which one of the 7 you can develop. And then you get immediately tools for how, for instance, if it's about pro-social behaviors and it's about empathy and compassion, then we also offer you some tools that you could do yourself, or that you could discover, or books that you can read. So this is still in development, but that's all coming soon. And I will definitely send you an invite when we have the test ready. And I'm very curious about what you think now, and maybe if you already have an idea in what resonates with you, or what kind of leader you think you are at the moment.
It's so beautiful, and I thank you for this extensive outlay of this wisdom compass, Aranka. I will leave the beautiful compass on the screen, because as we already felt during your story, we maybe resonate with some animals. We have some feeling popping up in our bodies, and that's our wisdom is also already in ourselves, in our system. And also questionnaires can help, but the wisdom is in our system. So before we go to Q&A and sharings and whatever comes up, we would like to have an inner quest, an invitation for an inner quest. And Peggy's gonna guide us with an embodiment. And ask yourself what resonates from the whole story of Aranka and the Wisdom Compass. What are your struggles? What are your would say your positive and your strengths? And which spiritual animal or power animal does resonate much with you? And maybe it's not the snake, or it's not the hummingbird, or the jaguar, or even the eagle. At the end, we're all the eagles, but we don't remember it anymore. So what's the beautiful animal you feel, and of which gives a beautiful symbol or a metaphor for where you stand on this wisdom path? Is that something, Aranka, which feels for you to do so, or do you want to?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
beautiful. And
beautiful.
it's I love it how you say and add that indeed everyone is a wise leader, and we just forget it, and we could easily go there. And also, sometimes we travel along this compass, and in different fields we're in a different we stand on a different point. So yeah.
Thank you. So for a few seconds, I leave the wisdom compass on the screen, and also the components of wisdom, which is, I think, a beautiful um, guidance or direction, and things we can grow in and evolve in. So if you have a deeper understanding of this compass, please close your eyes and just go inside, and then I'll give the microphone to Peggy to guide us with an embodiment.
You, Bas. I'm just going to take over for a second. I just want to ask all of you to, now for this moment, maybe let go of all the thoughts you have about the compass, all the words that you just heard, and just take a moment to feel your feet on the floor. Maybe you want to take your socks off or shoes and put your bare feet on the floor. Just make contact with earth. I would like to invite you, if that's possible for you, to stand up. And keep your eyes closed. Just focus just all your attention on your feet. And from your feet, the earth will come in slowly. And these little energies, maybe you feel a little tingling in a foot. And maybe you feel nothing yet. And that's all good. There's no rules. And there's also no way it's supposed to be. We take a deep breath through the nose, and then we circle our arms up. And then we let our whole body fall forward towards our feet. And from the earth with our hands, we pull up the energy from the earth up. And we take another inhale, circle our arms up. And on an exhale, we fold completely forward and we stay there for a few breaths. Just let everything hang and everything fall. And we feel maybe a little bit of energy already coming from the earth. That energy really wants to enter your body. And this body that we maybe just are still getting used to. Maybe we're very connected to it. Maybe we're not all the time so connected with it. But this earth really, the energy wants to come up through your feet. And we're going to help it a little by, grabbing it from the earth with one hand first, and then grabbing it with our other hand, and we're just pulling it up. All the energy from the earth. And maybe you want to touch your legs and your feet and feel it coming in from the bottom of your body. And up through your knees. And we'll move up a little bit. It's going to your upper legs. Just move inside through your whole legs. And let the energy come up to your pelvis area. Now we slowly come up to a standing position. And we let the energy come through our pelvic area and it can just circulate in that area. And we move up to our belly. And maybe your hands just touch your belly. You can move with your hands over your belly. And this is your belly for this lifetime. It's the belly we're doing this life with, and we love it. It's an amazing belly. And from our belly, move up, maybe with your hands to your breast area, your chest, your heart. And this earth energy comes all the way up through your system towards your heart. Maybe it's a little sparkle, maybe it's big. Yeah, from our heart, we move to our shoulders. Maybe you want to put your hands on your shoulders. And just circle your shoulders a few times from the front to the back. Freestyle a bit with the shoulders. How do they want to move? Can you hear the little whispers of the body, the movement they want to make with your shoulders? And from our shoulders, we move to our throats and our neck. And maybe your hands want to touch your throat and your neck. And it's possible that also sometimes in certain areas when we're circulating this energy that some things feel off, maybe a little stuck. And the invitation is that that's all just allowed to be there. Everything in our body is just sending us these nice little messages, and it's all welcome and it's all good. And from our neck, we move to our jaw. Let our jaw drop. See if we can relax the jaw by maybe opening the mouth a little bit. You want to move your jaw a few times from left to right. We relax our jaws. We relax our cheeks, our nose, our eyes, our forehead, our whole face melts and softens. Now from above our heads, we can visualize the energy from above coming down on you like a shower over your whole body. And maybe it's a little sparkle. Maybe it's a big shower. It's no rules. And our hands are next to our body, just hanging. Now we're gonna slowly start moving. Just little movements, see where your body wants to go. And if in the meantime there's noises or thoughts or other things happening inside you, that's The invitation is to just see it, maybe say hi, leave it again, and go back into your body. And just move a little, maybe from the left to the right. And then your left hand, put all your attention on your left hand. Let's see where your left hand wants to go. Like we're following our left hand. Where is it going? We don't know. The hand knows. And then our right hand, the same. We're going to move our intention to the right and believe our left hand doing what it does. And our right hand starts moving. And this doesn't have to look nice. It doesn't have to look a certain way. It can be big or small. See, where's your hand moving to? And then your shoulders start moving. Where are your shoulders going to? I'm curious, where is this shoulder going to? The other shoulder going to? And my pelvis area starts moving. Where's that moving to? And your legs. And maybe your feet even start moving. Give your body the permission to move any way it wants to move. Maybe you can tell your body, I'm curious, what is there inside me? What animal is alive? There's just no rules and no preference, no certain way it's supposed to be. And just trust that your body knows best. And just surrender into the body. And if you feel an animal coming up, maybe you don't know what animal it is. It doesn't matter. You don't have to think about it or identify it. But maybe you can start moving like it. And with every inhale, we feed the animal. And with every exhale, we relax in the animal. I'm going to deepen our breath. Inhale through the nose. And exhale, we relax in our animal. Inhale, we feed the animal. Exhale, relax in the animal. finish up our movements. Maybe still figuring out where they're going. Are you flying? Or are you on the earth? Are you crawling over the floor? Is there something you see? Or is some sensation you feel? And slowly start breathing more naturally again, our own rhythm. Feel our feet back on the floor. Put our right hand, that resonates with you, on our hearts. And our left hand anywhere where the left hand wants to be. Maybe you can tell yourself, I'm ready to discover. I'm ready to discover this animal. I'm ready to discover where I can bring it and where I can go and where I can find that wise leader inside me where it all comes together. And I don't have to be anywhere yet. I don't have to be anything. I'm just curious. We'll bring our hands together in front of our hearts for a namaste. Thank you for doing this practice with me. Hope you feel a little bit in touch with some animal or with your beautiful selves. Namaste.
Namaste. We don't hear you, Bas. You're muted.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Peggy, for your guidance, Aranka. Wisdoms you shared. We give some few seconds for people coming down from the mountain, coming back from their animal state in psychedelic or plant medicine. You can really encounter your animal, which is a beautiful experience. I felt there was an animal at this stage, Peggy, so really deep embodiment. Before we go into the sharings and the personal stuff, because we like these circles to be authentic and open. I would like to give a moment if you have. Are you against that this session from this part is recorded? You can raise your hand with a reaction. And then we're gonna appreciate your openness, and then we're gonna stop for a while the recording, and when it's possible, we're gonna open the recording again. So if you have obligations for recording during this, I would say personal sharing, collective sharing, feel free to give a reaction by giving a hand. Okay, thank you, Aranka. We're gonna appreciate. So I see no reactions coming. Mayo, can I ask you as a circle leader, because you guide these men's circle, your beautiful West Coast in Portugal. to open up, yeah, the guidance for sharings and whatever comes up for people to want to contribute.
Well, I followed now for about 1.5 hour your recording, and I do not agree to record and give you a small feedback if you like.
Yes.
But Aranka knows me, so only when you also look what Aranka did magnificent is that when I built up my companies and was happy and sometimes by money, or happy and sometimes by success, happy sometimes by the love I received from my wife or girlfriends. I didn't understand because I was too much busy with just striving to one thing. Then I started to, for example, I have a few NGOs I set up myself, but still not happy. And the model Aranka described made me feel like, okay, you can be successful. If I simplify it, what Aranka says, I really simplify it. Either you have a lot of money, but you can still be happy. Either you're spiritual and you wanna, or you're meaningful, but you're still not happy. Or either you're ideological and you're still not happy. And I know so many people who believe in ideology, don't make money, are not happy. I know so many people who have so much money are not happy. I know so many people who are just not happy. And what Ranke does with her model is try to find some trigger points. What do you have to learn? And the model is way more advanced. But if you go into all the spiritual stuff or the yoga stuff or which I totally believe in. I do yoga. I do believe in spirituality. You will never reach the people who really need it.
I see.
I was
So
Then
may I interrupt then? The people who need it, in this regard, then, if we have a duality of people that are in the position that you have been in your life, creating business opportunities, and I'm sure managing companies and managing other humans, because you are so involved in that process, that needing this other compass, needing this other ability to, versus the people who are already doing yoga or who have a spiritual sense or connection, versus the people who are more in line with the traditions and wisdom keepers, you find that maybe these people on this side need this more than others?
well, what I want to say, yes, is that people like you, because what I hear today, I would hope to give you a voice to the people who need it.
but
Fantastic.
Ben, thanks for sharing. What I don't really, I still don't really understand the point though, but
Okay.
so I'm trying to discover. But what I first want to say, because what I don't really understand, because you come with the whole what do maybe business people or entrepreneurs want from this, but I think you're inviting me in one of those companies to talk about it, and I will
Yes.
share
Yes.
it with other language, in other language.
Yes.
But
Yes.
here we're in a wisdom keeper circle. So I will talk more about the spirit animals, for instance, and we will do some embodiment, and we choose that because we think it resonates with the people that come in the circle. Because a wisdom circle has a certain context already to it. So for me,
Okay.
that's
Okay.
it's a different, maybe it's a different language and a different. But it can also be really nice to, I don't know which number it is, but to step out of your comfort zone and go discover this new
Hey, I'm here,
uncertainty.
but then for example, like I don't know if you guys know Aranka, but Aranka spoke with Richard Branson. I mean, who the fuck speak with Richard Branson? Jamie Oliver. And I
Okay.
didn't hear it. And then I think, okay, then I want to listen. And people like me, no, not like me. I'm a little bit further, maybe. But so many people then, if that would be known in your podcast, then other people would think, okay, and you did like in the 7 books was told, but not some kind of books. Everybody can write 7 books. But really,
Ben,
yeah.
no, seriously, we're talking about the whole thing now about like status and things. I personally rather talk about Buddha and Lao Tse than about Richard Branson. So I'm really happy he's not introduced here. But so this is maybe says something about your perception and your reality. It would have helped you.
No, I think about if I want to share this podcast, I would never share it because I don't know your credentials.
Okay, so
And
that's
I would love, and the wisdom model is meant for people like me, no, like I was. And
no, not
I
she.
and I don't know what the whole goal of this meeting is, but I do wish that your wisdom is shared to people who don't know it instead of people who already know it.
Okay. Well, thank you for bringing that to the table. And we
Sure.
will, and I will make sure.
I would love to see a live Zoom between you and Ben, observing the compass based on where Ben feels he wants to start, and how that may have a conversation that will open up future elements of discovery, because it's so wonderful, Ben, to know your path and to know your righteousness. You know, you know where you want to go and what you don't want to. And it's people like you that have leadership, true leadership. Maybe we have this discussion of what that means. But for you, this leadership to have a conviction to share your rights and your wrongs, it's so powerful. So we really
I'm
thank
not right
you.
and wrong. Sorry to thank you, but I'm not right and wrong. I wish that your leadership, what you do in your inner circle, goes out to the world. And if you don't do that, I don't understand what the goal is.
Fantastic. I will write you a check.
And if you and if you want to spread it to the world, you have to do a different communication, a different way of speaking. But maybe I don't misunderstand this concept. So
yeah,
sorry.
but that's that's your goal, because I think maybe Bas can tell a little bit about that as well, because he does that often. But circles is also about really what resonates in you and about reaching what Maya already said in the beginning, reaching one person and touching one person, or it's about being together, sharing, and what we're doing now as well. But for me, it's not the goal to be to spread this now with the world. It's I'm spreading it with your world now.
Okay, then please make next time clear in the introduction that you do that. Then I wouldn't have spent 1.5 hour, and I would listen later the recording.
Okay.
Because I really loved it, but just make clear what your podcast is about. Like,
why are you being so mean, Ben? What happened to you today in the bike ride? Did the chicken didn't taste good? Was it too spicy? What happened today in your world to be so mean to these humans that didn't do anything to you? Listen, if it's not right for you, then why are you creating such an energy for everybody else? Because
I'm so sorry to be mean. I really am. Don't try to be mean.
Listen, it's comical. If the leadership of your life is truly involved in leading others, then how do you lead with this type of oppression in which you stand over others and judge their views and their rights and wrongs? It is not right to come into a space and provide your essence in a way that you're going to live upon the other's rights. And so what I ask you to do is, if you came from a place that brought you life and brought you health, and now you're sitting here for an hour and a half wasting your time and providing us with an opportunity to really see you in the middle of a compass. This is a perfect place for you to describe what it is. Who is this for? I have a person that I happen to see right here in front of me that has this compass to be given to as a gift. as this magical gift in life, because not all of us have the ability to make money. Not all of us have the ability to project this leadership in which we share what we feel is right. But we all have the capacity to love and to feel, and to be courageously present amongst other humans, to give them the space to be and to interact without judgment, without sidelines, without narratives. So it is so important that you're here in this space, creating an opportunity for us to see how it is that you may find the compass as a utility that will help you in your life today. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I really appreciate opening up, Ben, as the way you did is fine for us. And I want to say there is space for everyone to share his own opinion. And I'm glad, Mayo, you bring the space back to have where we come from, an open platform, an open space where we can learn from each other's wisdoms and also can learn from each other's reactions on these kinds of important, I would say, important evolution of our human beings. Hopefully the energy went down to come back to our embodiment.
I think we just saw the lion awaking.
The lion was awaking. Maya,
so that
please.
worked, Peggy. Thanks.
Or two intense embodiments.
Wonderful. I'm happy that we're all sitting here amongst our all animal selves. So thank you so much for being here. Again, it is not the direction of where we're going, but the fact, the embodiment that we're here, and whatever comes from this magical place that we are co-creating, it is not for us to know, but to experience it. So thank you. Let's continue this journey.
Maya, let you please pick up the circle and see whatever comes up in the circle.
Okay, great. So Aranka, thank you so much for providing us with a toolbox. It's really important keywords that you mentioned, that this is a toolbox that you were inspired from the jungle of life to see how we can individually find this way through it. And one of the things that highlighted the connection to your ideology behind this compass is that the roots of wisdoms are in ourselves, right? And it's so interesting to see the model of what wisdom and consciousness, how they play upon each other, what it is that they're in the same spherical kind of feeling, the dimensions of it. In your life, what roots you? What is it that roots you? What really brings you to your life, to your essence? This is something that I personally want to discover. What behind the compass, behind the mind? What roots you, Aranka?
Is that a real question to me? What roots me?
Yes.
Or what, yeah.
Yes.
Well, for me, it's nature. So for me, a lot of actually answers are in nature, but especially in the connection with nature, I feel, yeah, I feel there's a lot of magic in that connection, but also grounding in a way that, you know, we have so many stories in our head, narratives, limiting beliefs, and we also have so many perceptions and realities. That's what we just saw, but what we see every day in life and our emotions. And for me, nature is actually the only real thing that we can touch and we can feel, and we can, even though there's also a lot in nature that we can't really touch what is there. But so for me, nature also, when I sit at a tree, I feel trees are really grounding me. I are almost that I tell myself I can leave them behind, and there's only what is there and what is real, and that's for me my grounding and my truth and my roots.
And so for the people that are sitting in an apartment perhaps, or that have city life becoming their normalcy, how can they become more rooted if nature is not the abundant denominator?
Good question. Good question. I think there's almost everywhere a tree, hopefully, to find, or a plant in your room. But still, then with the feet on the ground, or with you visualizing that you're in nature. But for every person, I must say it's different. So I'm curious what it is. Maybe for you, maybe then we get a clue how other people can enrich that as well, maybe. And it can also help a lot what Peggy just did to really ground the embodiment of wisdom, and really in a way of meditation, martial arts, all embodiment practices really also do a lot of good for grounding and rooting in that way.
Thank you
I
so much
believe.
for sharing.
I got a question too, and maybe this is something like a sharing, but also tuning or deepening the wisdom compass for me. I come also from, as you probably know, Peggy and Aranka, I come from the transpersonal psychology direction, and also from the plant medicine direction. And also these, and maybe this is also an answer for Ben, we're working on the collective, finding back each other, and we're not like individuals who want to thrive for ourselves and creating more money, or creating more cars, or creating more success, or creating more purpose, or creating whatever as an individual, but as a collective. And I was wondering two things. As we have seen, especially from the transpersonal psychology, we see that our um, um, transformation from a personal way of living to a collective way of living, or more attuned to a collective, is blocked by collective trauma, like the World War II. What do you sense in this wisdom compass, that this compass could be more like on a collective perspective, instead of growing as an individual in coaching, in retreats, or in the programs you do? And maybe you, Peggy, you can sense for yourself what you want to add on the collective side.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking Aranka, and maybe you feel also in this question. So
You can help me out with this very difficult question. For me, yeah. So I think this is a question I might not have an answer for, but because for me it really starts, and that's where the compass is about, that it starts within. And so it starts individually within, but also collectively within. So it can only start to become collectively if you start within. But you can obviously also look at the compass through a way of, I did that with countries, for example, or with communities. You can also take a look, okay, where are we as a country? Are we now in, what do we have to develop? Where can we grow? So in that way, I think in collective sense, we can also take a look at what do we need in the world more, or where can we find our growth and our challenges. And so that's what I have now for an answer.
No,
but I don't.
It's a beautiful
Do you
answer.
have to add,
Yeah.
Beck?
Yeah, I think first thing I thought was, when you evolve towards wise leadership, that I think one thing that comes with it is that it becomes about the collective, and you become part of the collective, and it will come naturally, in that sense. That for me feels really like wisdom and wise leadership. It's not about the individual anymore. It's not about you being a leader. The word leader doesn't even matter anymore. It's that evolvement that makes you aware how we're, I mean, I know this is like a cliche, but how we're just everything and nothing. And that's actually the road we're walking, and with these tools that help us, that's when you were telling about your compass, I was also thinking, oh yeah, the body, and they're also, this body as the tool is such a, you can completely put this model on it, the experiences. Oh yeah, we have all these traumas in our body, and then we can give it space, release it in the body. We can move like a snake through the body. Yeah, but in itself the same, we can discover ourselves via our body. Well, this is a little bit of a side wheel, but what I'm trying to say is, that we're the mini version of the everything. Whatever we do in here, it will reflect out there, and then then we become this wise being maybe, and that will mean we're also getting connected. That's
Beautiful. Thank you for that answer. I felt like an elephant during your embodiment, and this is I really also felt where my evolution or my growth in this wisdom compass is. So I want to share it from a personal perspective. But I sense that I've always been busy with bringing this world better, making this world a better place, and always thinking of the collective instead of taking care of myself. And I saw myself as a big elephant taking care of the tribe, taking care of Africa, taking care of the traumas to the elephants, which of course due to the hunting and the gaining for the how do you call them, the ivory. So I really felt also like taking care of myself starts with nourishing myself again before I can then go outside again. So thank you with the words from you, Aranka, and your model, and also the embodiment of you, Peggy, gave me a beautiful insight where I can work for myself the coming days, coming weeks, the coming months to nourish myself again as an individual or a strong creature on this planet, but first take care of myself. So thank you for that.
Thank you for sharing that.
What
And
was
so
your?
I
also-
also want to thank you. Are we closing the circle?
No, we're not.
We're sharing.
No, we're sharing, and I would like to do a round with the Mayo. If you start with your animal, and then we go to the people who are still here, and then.
No, I'm a rebel. I don't have an animal. I am the space the animal holds itself in. So somehow I have I may be a tick in the animal. How about that? Whatever whatever animal is there. I love to shift shapes and create new opportunities from different perspectives. So I find the compass to be equally important to explore all the other sides, not just to be a leader, but to go into all the spectrum of it and to really bask with the different shapes of the animals. So instead of symbolizing myself into one, I thought, yes, I am every single one. And I enjoy exploring that. There's no fault in being one or the other. There's no negative connotation to it, right? And learning from it and really coalescing what that experience and the overall connection to the world, to nature, to life, to humans, the self, of course. And as you mentioned, Aranka, it's almost like seeing the past and the present and the future, but come into one, into the consciousness, into the stream of consciousness. So it's really beautiful to then throw the compass and see where the compass lands and say, oh, thank you for pointing me into that, or thank you for centering me into this. And I find it as an applicable tool that really does help you more so than a mirror, or more so than anything that we can have as an outside tool to provide context and how we can see ourselves implementing ourselves in this picture of the doing and the being. So wonderful. And of course, when you add an embodiment to that and you invite to have the animal come up, then all of the animals immediately, right? The left hand became the trump, the trump of the elephant,
Up there.
right? And then the snake was like, no, where are you going? Uh, and then the overall shape shifting of the essence really does go through all the species. So I feel the embodiment it's a catalyst. Is really the full uh, catalyst of this experience of finding our own compass and this delineating what that feels like and what do I feel in that corner and how do I relate. And then the we aspect that you touched on, boss, is the we, the collective. And I guess both of you, Aranka and Peggy, mentioned that yes, once we work on the I or the self, then it ripples out. But of course, then in communication or in our beingness, we are part of the ripple. And I think Peggy mentioned that we are the expression of everything a little bit. And so if you think about the greater compass for the collective, right, we can sense where our communities lie. We can sense where our immediate family lies in that compass. It has given us an ability to understand where we are in that, and perhaps where we may move collectively, just from our even small circles of the family to the greater circles of the community. How we are moving towards that self-realization, the ego. So it's so wonderful. It's such a beautiful asset to our lives to have this tool. It's so blessed. Thank you so much for sharing. And this is my part.
I see a wisdom twister coming, a wisdom twister where you do with this with a family and you flop where the wisdom compass comes from, and then you have a deeper dialogue.
Immediately, I see that now as an application as well. And then it could work this way. Yeah.
I can make it.
Please, Peggy, go ahead.
Is that a joke? But I can make it with Ben, the app.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I'm sorry, what do you say, Peggy?
We can
he's still there.
App for the wisdom compass, like a little game.
Yes, this would be a nice addition to see what avenues may that bring to other people. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so when are you launching this? When is it going live?
Ben, when is it going?
No,
no, really, he helps me with
in about 2 weeks.
With making it.
2 weeks. And so the overall, I guess, then focus. What is who will be? How would you release this? What are the avenues in which you will release this?
Good question. No, it's now it's just now a test, an assessment with the questions. So I will just put that on the website for everyone to fill in the email address and fill in the questions and do it. And then they receive the results in the email, and then they can go from there. So
beautiful.
That's the idea. And obviously, yeah, we need to
and there will
talk
be
a bit more in a lot of new wisdom circles in companies and all.
So essentially, you could create an online platform as well, or have videos in which you explain the different elements of the compass.
No, there will be many videos where she explains what the benefit for different kind of target groups is.
Exactly.
Because it can be for business people, it can be for housewives, it can be for people who just think what do I want to do in life.
Yeah.
There's going to be an affiliate program.
Yeah.
Really?
There's going to be some media attention about it.
And is it in primarily in Dutch, or is it, because all the content I see is in English?
It's in English, yeah.
So
English and Dutch.
Has a wide scope. And what is your projection? Where do you see yourselves in 2 to 3 years? What does this bring to you and your overall sense of community, to the people you surround yourself with? What will this do to not just you or yourselves, but what is the ripple of this project that you guys are embarking on?
Yeah, for me, so this test and this wisdom compass is now part of Jungle Birds because I developed it. But now I'm working with Esther, who she really said, I'm so sorry, but she had to leave. She was just here. So I'm with her developing more like a wisdom agency in which we have the 7 components and pillars, and we're going to share more about each pillar, and we're going to offer and also connect other wisdom guides, wisdom keepers, people that do that offer different tools. And we're going to invite them also on the platform so that people can really go from a test to, oh, then maybe this is something interesting for me, or this, and then they will be guided throughout interesting content and on video, text, and
it will
offer.
create a full platform on its own that will host other people to support these practices.
That's the idea, but that's still work in progress.
Yeah, it sounds beautiful. It sounds great. It really does. It has all the content, and as Boss and I, Melanie, how did you feel about the overall practice of the compass as you experienced that?
Yes, I also want to know.
How do I feel about the compass?
Yes, your compass.
Well, as you said, Mayo, it's not that I see myself in one block or one type, and I think it depends on times, phases in life. That sometimes, because at one point I said I thought maybe I'm this one, and the other moment I thought maybe no, I'm not that one, but I'm that one. So it's mixing, and I don't feel that I can put myself in one type of leader. So I think it's a beautiful concept, and I also was thinking, how can I say that? It feels like also that we have to go somewhere to be something.
I understand what you mean. Well, we're
And
already being that.
Exactly. So that was my struggle.
Yeah, I understand.
With the compass as you make it.
Yeah.
So maybe you can tell me something about that part, because I think we are already the wise leader, as you say, in the middle. So we don't have to go somewhere to be.
Yeah, let's see if I can put that into words and in English words. Because I completely understand what you're saying. And also we don't want to stimulate per se people to search and search and search. But now what I see a lot around me with people and also with my clients is that they are searching and looking for tools.
Yeah.
And that's in that, so it's already perfect where they are, and they are, everyone has the wisdom inside. But I think sometimes we need some help or remembering, and that's also when people come to me that they have a certain challenge.
Yeah.
And they have like something from the past is hunting them, or they have all different challenges, or something what Ben said, like I have everything in life, but I feel no meaning, or it's slipping through my hands, or and then so then movement in a way, and these tools can help people to maybe become the wise leader that they already are. Deep within.
But they are more aware of it then. It's more that they get awareness about what they are already, and they can because I know of course you get people with a lot of questions, otherwise they're not coming to you. They need help to be aware about what's in it for me in this life, in this world. And people who everybody has to learn something.
So on that level,
So it helps for people who are searching to be more, how can I be more aware of things in life?
Yeah, yes. Or isn't it, it's maybe we're talking on different levels, huh? Because there's one level of consciousness where we're already all are the wise leaders.
Yeah,
but as soon as we
exactly.
step in certain contexts,
Yeah.
that we act differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe that are the tools that I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, they need to have the overview of their life and not how can I explain that in English as well?
Everyone speaks Dutch.
Yeah. You do too, Mayo.
You know, just
I have a question for you. I have a question. What do you struggle with in your life? Melanie.
Yes.
Can I see you then when you're asking that, please?
Sorry. Yes, Melanie. What do you struggle in life with? Is it with partners? Is it in business? Is it with money? Is it with success?
Well,
is everything fine? You make millions. You have the best boyfriends, or what do you struggle with? And that is what Aranka does with her model. Yeah. To that part where you don't know why doesn't it work. And this is so cool about the model of the wisdom.
Yeah. No, and
so
that's
are you
what
open enough?
I think it helps a lot of people, because what you say, many people are not happy with kinds of parts of their life.
Okay. Well, I will be honest, if you're honest too. I made millions. At the moment, not anymore. I really had meaning. I did so many NGOs, set up myself. I really had a great company. But sometimes in your life, you think, hey, what's wrong? And you don't know anymore.
I'm sorry for you. No, really.
No, I'm very happy.
No, really.
I'm very happy.
4 years, 5 years, almost 5 years ago. So I ask you,
to be honest too, so what goes wrong in your life? Because then Aranka can maybe explain better. What's really
can I interrupt? Because then, do you understand the question that Melanie is asking?
Yes.
Because what she's saying is also about that that we're already, it's already in ourselves, so we don't have to strive all the time.
Exactly.
You know, so
and your model helps to not strive, but to see, hey, what do I miss? Because sometimes in a part of your life, you don't know what it is because your blind spots are not there. So do you allow me to ask the question again? What blind spots do you have, or do you think you have?
Yeah, I'm really thinking of that part. But in this moment, when I'm here with you, with Aranka, with Maya, I'm really grateful and happy, and that is, of course, and that is for me the most important moment, because the past is not there anymore.
So you're a wise leader. You're wise. You have, and financially everything fine, and you have all your past emotions solved.
I don't know.
Where's the whole podcast was about?
I don't know. I don't know, because of course we have all struggles in life.
And this is why the model is so cool, Aranka. This is why the model is so cool. Then you discover how far did you solve your problems of the past? How far did you succeed in money? And how far are you meaningful in life? How cool is that? Because we don't know.
We don't know.
But we
No,
all
so I'm very
feel.
curious when we get the questionnaire. I'm really curious what where can I find myself? I'm really
Thank you.
I can't wait to fill it in. Actually,
Thank you.
no,
Me
really,
too. Me too.
yeah.
Okay, can I make a
Thanks
comment?
for sharing, Melanie.
Yeah, thank you. I was just thinking that about what you said also, Ben, and your answer, Melanie, and I thought, it's just also, it's a matter of perspective. What are we chasing? Are we chasing something, the success or the financial well-being? And I can only say from my own experience, I mean, I've struggled with many things. I can be honest about that. If you want to hear, I'm not rich, I don't have a successful relationship, but I can honestly say that I feel in the best place ever in my life. And I realize that I just don't need anything to feel fulfilled.
Mm.
And I think that is a wisdom that you can't find by, pursuing worldly success.
Mm.
That's
But even then, the compass will assist you to define clear what that nothingness is. I guess this is Ben's point, is that regardless of the application or the place in life or the constructs that we choose to follow, the compass will be there as a tool to guide us into that more, or into the essence of that. Not perhaps not more, but to the essence of that. So that's why the application is so vast and so multifaceted, because the compass is there, even though I think you mentioned this or alluded to this construct, but essentially the teacher never stops to learn. The guru shouldn't just become a guru and sit on his throne, but the guru is a practice of all the teachings that are within him or herself. And the compass is that practice, I believe. It's the tool, the practice itself. And it's so beautiful to materialize it, to put it outside our brains, to put it in a way that we can, to embody that. This is a cup and I can drink from this cup. And without that cup, I would not have the capacity to drink. So the tool itself, it's what I want to pour into it. It's up to me. And what I want to take from that, it's up to me. So I love the question, Ben, exactly what it is that you may find in your life. And of course, we can go into semantics of what defining leadership looks like and success and all these other words, but the core of that is that we are aligning our purpose from this very material, this piece of information that is now able to have in front of us and can actually guide us, instead of us finding all the ideas in our minds and not really finding which direction to take. So it's wonderful. I love the question and the answer.
What's so fascinating about me, when I have this conversation with you guys, and sorry that you find me rude. I'm not rude. I'm open. In my belief, is that look what Aranka did, and it's so fascinating. There are people who only want to share knowledge about how to live a good life, who, like you said, like, I already am happy inside myself, the universe gives me everything, but they never have money, they never have a business, they were never a leader. There are people who only had money, they never knew what life is, what love is. I was one of them. I didn't even know what togetherness was. And you have people who are doing both, but are not happy in life because they don't know spirituality and they don't find success.
The dialogue is
So,
on the table. And Ben, I
so,
really want to thank you for that.
so instead of only talk about, wow, we are so open, we need nothing, like you said, Becky.
Mm.
How successful financially are you?
But Ben,
How successfully in friendship are you? And
But Ben,
what
as
Aranka
a, as
does,
as
his
as a
whole
moderator,
model,
I'm
his whole model.
gonna intervene, because you're filling the cup now, and
Yeah.
this is your cup, and it's an elephant
Yeah.
cup, as Mayo showed, and this is why we have this dialogue. This is why we have this dialogue, to bring this on the table and not to commercialize the, the compass by itself. And I'm as a moderator, I
Yeah.
want to not to personalize this feedback, but just to bring the dialogues on the table. And this is why the compass of wisdom, or wisdom compass,
But can I say something? Because
is so
I don't
important.
feel it. Can I say something? Because
Yes.
what Ben says, it has nothing to do with me. So he can say what it's I
Yeah.
think it's something from him, which he wants to share. But I don't feel it for personally that he's having another thought about the way of what we say, like that we are like. I'm not saying I have hallelujah life. Mostly of the time it is, but no, no, but I don't feel it like it's not. So I'm really happy that you are open, Ben, and yeah, I think it's not because it's not an he's not attacking you or me or Aranka.
No.
He's
And
just having
yeah.
the open conversation.
Yeah. I also
From
like
his
to add.
perspective. So
Yeah.
that's nice that we have this conversation. So for me, you don't have to stop this, because it's good to talk about it with each other.
Yeah, only the I think the energy where you ask the questions with is also, for me, I don't feel really that it's really imbalanced, or it's not yeah, it feels a little prejudice or with judgment. And I think, and also I want to add to what the wisdom compass is about, like for instance the idealistic thing, which it's not there's no money involved, huh? So this is already a perception. It is about how to manifest and how to transform your vision into reality, and how to, and in the, for instance, in the idealistic leader, there's something where you can there's something where you can grow into to transform your vision and your ideals more into reality. So so we're not per se talking about material stuff here. And also I think that what we're missing here is that this work, there's all kind of work that you can do in those fields. And that's like really something that we have to, what Maya said, have to look into the mirror and see, okay, what if I have these questions, or if I'm struggling with this, what kind of work can I do with myself in which fields? And that if people feel really that they don't need anything, it's not that they have money and this and that and that. It's not that, it's like that the contentness, the consciousness of I'm happy where I am now, and that's meaningful to me. You can have that in every little spot of the compass.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like I have to be honest, I did feel like I was getting attacked a little bit, you know, or shamed, let's say, in that sense. But I mean, it's okay.
And that's okay. And I'm happy you opened this for yourself, that you,
yeah,
please go ahead.
but you know what I want to explain, I guess, or maybe put some light on, is that, you know, I get Ben also a little bit, in I can understand this view you have, maybe even of me, I don't know, and that's fine, or of people, or they're in bliss or whatever, and they're like, just happy, don't need anything. And what are they doing in the world? I can understand that, but for me it feels very different. For me it feels like really coming back to myself, and therefore also feel more connected with everything else, that I have this different vision where I can become the creator. And then if I'm there, then it's like playtime, say. Then I can view, and then this compass is like, oh, that's super nice. Where am I? What can I do? Where do I want to play? What can I bring? What can I bring to this world? And even though my mind a lot of times thinks, fuck, I want to make a lot of money because, it's comfortable. It's just, it's nice, but it's not apparently what I'm driven by. So what I like about this compass and about the place, where I feel comfortable, at least, is having this embodiment, let's say, that of myself, where I can have this peripheral view, and then just feel my way. That's my way, it doesn't have to be everybody else's way. Feel my way through, oh yeah, this feels right, this is right, where can I mean something, where can I play, basically. That's where I'm
Wise, playful woman. Thank you for those beautiful words.
Yeah.
And it's great to have these conversations, Maya, with people from every background, and to share and to open this field to understand each other better, as we already are a collective. And we have our own individual goals and thrivings, but let's see how these conversations and these gatherings will bring us more. What is your last word for this night before we're going to thank these beautiful ladies for bringing?
Thank you so much, boss, for the transition. And words themselves don't create any reality. We can use words and we can create perceptions of other people's words, but we're using our minds too much to really detail what it really feels like to be a human, what it is to live. So the magic, like Peggy said, is there already. Yeah, everything else is really truly flowing past and through us. Because we woke up today and we have the ability to rise up to that occasion. So just like that, I want to be straightforward and say thank you so much. I love you all for being here, because you made this reality possible together with me today. And tomorrow we have a different set of realities, but I want to express how grateful I am to share this moment with you, Ben, and with Boss and the ladies and everyone else in between. Peggy, thank you so much for empowering us. And of course, thank you so much just for being there, the queen. You know what I'm talking about. Aranka, it's so wonderful to meet you in person, and then to come online and discover more about this magic that you offer the world, and to know that I will be able to touch you and to hug you and to feel that energy soon enough. It's really special. And I think that the magic for tonight is not to, again, create words that define what we are and who we are, but to then take on this essence of our humanness that, like, we've all come to understanding. We are there in the middle already. And it's not that we're expanding or contracting, but our being, it's a process. And so why not have tools that can guide us in that process? Love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And just to add something, if I may, because you were also sharing all your vulnerabilities and stuff, I feel like also adding one thing about from me, because I'm also navigating with the compass through the jungle. And for me, it's a lot like, for instance, now I felt really uncomfortable with this conversation. I'm glad that you were all very tuned into yourself and very open and wise about this, because that really supported me. But this is definitely something for me that is challenging and that I feel. So for me, it's about the jaguar is my queen that I can learn from. I always felt really connected to this beautiful animal. And it has a lot also to do with showing up exactly as you are, authentic with your vulnerabilities, showing also the things, your darker, your shadow sides that you're maybe not so keen on showing. So that is where my growth and where I'm still working on with the compass, among other things. But I just wanted to share that, and I'm really happy that I could do that with you in a safe environment, and that you gave me so many insights about the compass, because it's so fresh and new. So it gave me a lot of things to talk about, or to think about, and maybe develop and maybe communicate in a different way. So thank you so much for that, and for the opportunity, and for having me.
Thank you both for all your in-depth work, and bringing this wisdom compass to the world. And I think hopefully tomorrow the wisdom cards will go to the supermarkets and people play and see what happens. So maybe it's
so
opening
actually the plan in the future. Yeah,
it's opening the dialogue. That's the most important, and understanding each other from different perspectives. We'll be back with our Wisdom Keep gathering, and also invite Ben to 30th of March. We'll have a gathering, so we have an invitation of a indigenous wisdom keeper to send and spread wisdoms from the world. You're more than invited. If you're not informed about what we do as work, we invite you to go to our YouTube channel. It's a We Are the Wisdom Keepers. You will find them. And thanks for all your personal notes and I would say we learned a lot from this as well as the Wisdom Keepers. Thank you so much, and have a beautiful Saturday. And somewhere we feel each other in the field. Thank you.
For sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hope to see you soon live, all.
Yes, let's meet soon.
You can. I cannot. I can meet Ben. Or you're not in Amsterdam?
Portugal.
Yeah, sure. I'll meet you in Amsterdam one day.
Next weekend we are on the West Coast, so maybe we can meet then.
Yes, fantastic.